Assalamu alaikum. Hello, dear students of HSC of Government Nazir Akhtar College, Bogura. I welcome you all after a pretty long gap to our online session. This is Obaid Wali, your English teacher, and I hope you all are fine and staying at home. You know that we all are passing through a very tough situation as the pandemic has once again compelled us to go online. And I'm grateful to our education department that they have arranged uh, measures for you so that we can take online classes for you. So in our today's class, we will actually discuss some basic ideas about grammatical issues like preposition, and you know that the first question in each second paper will be on preposition according to your devised short syllabus. So here we will also today we will also discuss some uh, the marks pattern, the question pattern of English second paper, and some preliminary talks on preposition. What is preposition, the purpose of preposition, and how to study this preposition for your exam. So let's move in today's discussion. So here you see the marks distribution, and which is especially for the HSC candidates of 2012 and 2022. So here you see there are two portions, there are two parts. The first one is the grammar, that is 60 marks in grammar, and in your grammar part you'll have to study the prepositions and some special uses in the next part, some special uses like had better, would rather, as soon as. I know that many of you are well acquainted with these things, yet we will study this in details. Then there is completing sentences with clause and phrase. In our, I have already taken 2 or 3 classes on clauses and phrases, and how to define these things, how to differentiate between clause and phrase in our classes. So we will again talk about these things, phrases and clauses, and how will we complete sentences using these things. Then there is verbs, right forms of verbs and subject verb agreements. These will be in your exam, and narration and use of modifiers in your syllabus, use of sentence connectors, special use of sentence connectors, and how you can use these things in your exam. We will details we will discuss in our classes. And also there is synonym antonyms. You know that this is a vocabulary part. And last but not least, the punctuation. So all these 9, as is 9 components, as you see in the screen, all these comprise 60 marks. And the next part is, that is part B, that is on composition, and you'll have 40 marks there. Letter writing, 10 marks. Then there is writing paragraphs within 200 words, 15 marks. And writing paragraphs again, the first one is by listing paragraph or description, and the next one is another type of paragraph. You'll have to write 2 paragraphs actually. This paragraph is by comparison and contrast, cause and effect. This is also you have to write within 200 words. So these are all from composition part, that is 40. So 60 plus 40, all these are accumulate to 100 marks. So in your upcoming exam, this is the marks distribution for you. And from the grammar part, we will discuss preposition. I will give you 3 or 4 classes on preposition. So what is actually preposition? We all know about preposition, and this, studied these things in our school also. That preposition is a word that basically comes before a noun or pronoun, and it shows their relation to other words in a sentence. For example, here you see that the man is on the platform. On the platform, there is, you see, platform is a noun, and before this noun there is the italic word on. So this on brings the equilibrium or the balance between in the sentence, and it shows the relationship between platform and the man in this sentence. Likewise, you see in the next sentence, she arrived after dinner. Actually, there are 2 parts in the sentence. She arrived. This is one part, and dinner is another part. And if you omit the word after, then this will make no sense. So after is an equilibrium in this sentence. In Bangla, we can call it bharshamya avastha. It gives a nice meaning to the sentence, and the sentence gets its life when you put the right preposition in a sentence. She arrived after dinner. So, and this becomes very meaningful. When you read the sentence, the meaning becomes very clear to you, and the sentence is not null and void. So it is a perfect sentence and a meaningful sentence. So what's the purpose of using preposition in a sentence? Why we use preposition? Preposition makes sentences more meaningful and enhances the beauty of a sentence. And for the reader, it is very much easy to grasp the inherent meaning if you use a preposition. And you'll see prepositions are used in all the languages, in Arabic languages or in Hindi languages or Urdu. They also use prepositions very widely. And preposition are actually used to show your the direction, time, or place, or location, or special relationships, or to introduce an object. These are the purpose of preposition. For example, he's going to market, or the boy is on the floor. I will be back on Friday. So in these sentences, the prepositions, you can easily locate what are the prepositions. And if you ponder over these sentences, you'll see how nicely the prepositions are being used here. Now, classification of preposition. In your exam, for your exam, you need to learn at least the first 3 types of prepositions. The first one is the simple prepositions, as you all know that the very common prepositions: by, for, from, to, at. These are the widely used simple prepositions. Then the next type is compound prepositions. That means 2 prepositions get united here and acts as a single preposition. For example, into. The boy entered into the room. Then another example is without, upon. So these are the examples of compound prepositions. And in our while we read our texts, we come across such types of prepositions very widely. Most often we find these prepositions in our text. The third one is complex preposition. That means 3 or words or more words in a preposition according to, by dint of, in search of, on the contrary. So these are the complex prepositions, and these are very important in any English text. You will find these prepositions very most often. You'll come across these prepositions in any English novel or even in your English text. The last one is the disguised preposition. In such prepositions, the preposition remains in disguise. He went a hunting. In this case, we can use on instead of a. So here the preposition on remains disguised. That's why this is here we find the use of disguised preposition. That means here preposition remains in disguise, and we can understand, we can perceive that there is a preposition, but it is not used. So these are the four prepositions, types of prepositions we usually use in English language. Now we move to next slide. How should we study the prepositions in our class, in our meeting, online meeting? So while studying prepositions, we'll study at least 100 prepositions, and I will show you what other types of prepositions you'll need to memorize. One thing is that you will have to memorize most of the prepositions, but some prepositions you will get that the meaning within you can perceive the meaning from using your common sense, but in most cases you'll need to memorize the prepositions. For example, the boy is on the roof. So these are very common, very easy one where you can say that why I'm using the word on, because on means upon. In Bangla we can say opore. Where is the boy? The boy is on the roof. So obviously here we'll use on, but not all prepositions are like this. There are complicated prepositions also where you will have to memorize, no other way besides this. So we'll study prepositions from easy to complex. We'll start learning the prepositions. First we'll learn the easy ones, and step by step we'll move towards complex prepositions or difficult ones. And common prepositions we'll study, very common prepositions we'll study, and step by step we'll move towards rather uncommon prepositions, and we'll focus more on the prepositions which are very important for your exams. So my advice is to you all that you'll have to learn 3 or 4 prepositions every day. Every day you'll have to learn at least 3 or 4 or 5 prepositions, but not more than that. You shouldn't do that. You're memorizing 20 or 25 or 30 prepositions a day, and you're also forgetting these prepositions very soon. So this makes no sense, and this will be difficult for you to memorize the 30 prepositions a day and keep this in memory for a long time. But what you should do that you can study, you can read 5 at best 5 prepositions or 3 prepositions, and you should do it every day. So day by day your stock of preposition will increase, and at some point you'll find that you have learned so many prepositions, and this will not go away from your memory. This will be hardened in your memory, and you'll you'll hardly forget these prepositions. So this will be the better strategy to learn the prepositions. So now today we'll discuss nearly 7 prepositions. These are very common and easy ones for you, and let's take a look at these common prepositions which we will discuss today. And you should make up your mind that you will memorize these 7 prepositions by 3 days or 2 days. Yeah. The first one is absorbed in. What is the meaning of absorbed in? Absorbed in, that means to be highly busy, to get somebody highly motivated in something, that is very busy with that special work. For example, if you find someone doing meditation or doing a research job, and you see that he's over head and ears in his meditation or research or any other particular type of work where he gets special interest. In that case, you can say he's absorbed in his writing or he's absorbed in his research. In Bangla, we can say the word nimogno. So absorbed means to be busy with something very special job. Then there is appetite for. Appetite for means hunger, to have to feel hunger for something. For example, if I say that I don't have any appetite for lunch now, it means that I don't feel that I should have lunch now. I'm not interested to have lunch now. Then the next one is ashamed of. So you see the words absorbed in, appetite for, these are all prepositions, and very common prepositions, the easy ones that you should know, we all should know, at least the students of HSC should know these uses, and these are very important for exams also. Ashamed of. I'm ashamed of his behavior. My friend has done such a nasty job that I feel ashamed of him. So ashamed of means I'm embarrassed with someone. So ashamed of. This is the use of ashamed of. In Bangla, we can call it bibroto or lojjito. The fourth one is afraid of. I think most of you know this preposition, afraid of. That means to have to be fearful of something. I'm afraid of snakes. Or if somebody says that I'm afraid of sleeping alone. So there is the preposition of after the word afraid. Afraid of. Say these prepositions several times, reiterate these things several times, and learn this, get it by heart, so that you won't forget this in the for the rest of your life. arrive at. We arrived at the station. Where we arrived? At the station. Arrive at. That means to reach some destination or station. Arrive at. We arrived at the station at 12 o'clock. So we use at after arrive. You should never say that we arrived on the station. It will always be arrive at. Then the word, then another preposition you see, accustomed to. That means habitual behavior. I'm not accustomed to make trip alone. That means I usually do not go out for a trip or a journey alone. I usually go with some of my friends or relatives for a trip. So accustomed to means in Bangla we can say obhosto or habitual nature. According to, very much common preposition for you, and I think most of you are acquainted with this preposition. According to means following some rule, following some routine, according to Newton or according to Shakespeare. So whenever we make or whenever we quote someone or we make some very common quotations and we use the words according to, it is usually used for referencing somebody or somebody's work. There we say according to. According to Napoleon Bonaparte, this is this, etc., etc. So according to is very commonly used preposition, and you should all know this thing. So dear students, what you should do now, that you will study this preposition at home and hope to come back again and hope to meet you all again with some more prepositions in our next class. Till then, stay fine and follow health rules as prescribed by WHO, and get vaccinated as soon as possible. Hope you all, and hope you nice happy learning, and also get prepared for your board exams, and time is running out very fast. So utilize your time and stay at home and make the best use of time. So thank you all for your for being with me in today's online class. Thank you. And if you have any question, just make comment in the comment box.